It's time for the
Bigfoot Jackpot Ray!
Cherokee Creek, the 2018 Bigfoot horror comedy film from director-actor Todd Jenkins. But before we get into it, make sure to check out my book Wild Man, which has been released on Kindle and paperback on Amazon. I'd greatly appreciate not only you guys checking it out, but giving me some feedback. I'll leave a link to the Kindle and paperback in the description below. Let's get into Cherokee Creek now. The plot. So, a few people break into a guy's house and kidnap him. They bring him out into the middle of the woods and, surprise, it's a bachelor party. It's been one whole big prank. However, there's a Bigfoot in the woods. And, well, he don't like trespasses. So it's a raunchy comedy with a lot of heart put into it. Alright, let's dig our claws into Cherokee Creek. Honestly, this film didn't totally interest me when I first heard about it. Still, the name is awesome and the trailer was okay, but I read raunchy Bigfoot horror comedy and was a bit turned off. It wasn't until Amazon pulled it from its streaming services that I was like, okay, there's gotta be something to this movie. And with that, I went out and bought not only the Blu-ray, but the VHS, which is signed by some of the cast and crew. It's actually covered in signatures. I thought that was really cool. It's number 15 out of 15, so I guess that was the last one. This movie starts off strong with some really good camera work and some decent gore. Then we get into the meat of the story, and Bigfoot takes a back seat for a while. Keep in mind, this movie is nearly 2 hours long. Regardless, this movie is a hoot and a half. It manages to have entertaining characters, quick draw humor, and some decent Bigfoot action in the climax. Justin Armstrong is basically the focal point of the characters. This whole party revolves around him. He is really pussy-whipped, which is always brought up. He's also an avid Bigfoot fan, and a Christian, which brings in Chad, played by Jeff Swearingen. Son of a bitch. Well, you told me to swear. He's the atheist of the bunch, and is portrayed as a colossal D-bag. He believes in science, and makes sure to try and tear everyone down who believes in the unknown. Bringing it back to Pat for a moment, he's engaged to a complete, controlling see you next Tuesday, named Carol, played by Olivia Sabini. She tells him no strippers, no booze, only his friends and partying. Without boo. What? A lame bachelor party, pretty much. But meanwhile, she's at a guy bar and is hot dog hungry. Okay, not fine. She's a huge hypocrite and thinks she is in the right. I was constantly yelling at the screen for Pat to lose the chick. That's what I meant before. This is raunchy for sure, but it does have a lot of heart put into it. Vinnie Blade is played by Billy Blair, and Jinx, played by Todd Jenkins, who's also the director, as I said, are Pat's friends, and they all seem to have each other's best interests deep down. Sure, they fight, but it does make it all the more realistic. Another character who was funny was Jarrett, played by Justin Duncan, who constantly wanted to get laid, and corrected everyone if they didn't use proper plural words for things. He was dorky and hilarious. Also, James Yeager has a role in this movie. He is a decently popular YouTuber, and I thought it was cool he had a small role in this movie. Where's my role? I really enjoyed the characters in this movie, if you couldn't tell already. I do have some gripes, though. Lighting was sometimes an issue during the nighttime scenes, which was, like, 90% of the movie. I could barely make out certain shots. Also, these are not gripes of mine, but I could see them bothering the viewer. The Bigfoot doesn't start killing until about an hour in. But for a matter of fact, I didn't notice until I looked at the clock when the third kill happened and was surprised, because there's 2 kills at the beginning. Some of the jokes and gags do go on a bit too long, and I could see it bothering some viewers. Alright, let's get into the grubby stuff. The gore, the effects, we get a bloody slashed throat. A dude gets his guts punched out. There's a blowjob gone brutally wrong, and more. The Bigfoot suit looks great. It looks muddy, slimy, and grotesque, much like a Bigfoot should appear. All the gore effects are practical and pretty solid. Everything from the messy slashed throat to the realistic prop head. The motion picture soundtrack, I wasn't a huge fan of the music. It felt generic and sometimes even goofy. There is one cue that kind of sounds like Predator, actually pretty much beat for beat. Could have it been better? Of course. The sound design was good though, so there's that. While Cherokee Creek is an hilarious and bloody good time, there are some issues I had with it for sure. But they didn't affect it too bad, and I walked away still having a fun time. It might offend some people, and the issues I explained might turn off some viewers, but still I'd say check it out. Overall, I give Cherokee Creek a 3 out of 5. Thank you all for watching, and don't forget to check out my book, Wild Man, which is on paperback and Kindle on Amazon. I'll leave a link to it in the description below, and I'd greatly appreciate you taking a read and leaving your thoughts on Amazon and or Goodreads. Thank you all for watching, and I'm Brian Gatto, the horror show host. Make sure to like, comment on, as well as share this video. Like my Facebook fan page and support me on Patreon. Even $1 a month will help keep this channel going on strong, and I'd greatly appreciate it. Also hit that notification bell, and as always, subscribe. Number 15 out of 15.